Hello, Factorio people. You caught me right in the middle of it here. I started recording an episode and was going to do production science, and then not production science. Sorry. Production science, and realised that I was not doing a very good job of explaining it, and so stopped recording so that I could build the damn thing. And then I'll just explain it to you afterwards, which I know is not how we did the military science, but this is considerably harder than the military science. That's going to have to go there. It's a mess, as production science always is, because it needs rails and processing units. Not processing units, sorry, productivity modules, which need red circuits and green circuits, and these need red circuits and stone bricks and iron for the sticks that go into the rail, and oh god, all kinds of stuff here. So let me hook this up for you the best way that I can. So productivity modules we briefly spoke about, I say briefly, we talked about at length last time. And they need red and green circuits in. This is a mess, I do appreciate that. Production science is very difficult. It's always a challenge. You've always got some weird constraint. We're definitely going to need to up the green circuit production after this as well, but that's easily done. There's always some constraint that means that you can't do the production science in the same way that you've been doing it previously. You know, a tileable blueprint is of course the dream, but for production science it's hard to attain that dream. Let me just expand the bus so that I can right, so this needs green and red circuits roughly here. I'm going to do this. Let's do it like this. This is going to cause... I don't need to do it like that. This is going to cause quite a lot of problems in the base. Quite a lot. Because it's going to very much show... Why did I do that? It's going to very much show... That also doesn't work. The limitations that we have... That would have worked, actually, thinking about it. The limitations that we have in terms of production of various things. Nope. Green circuits is going to be first and foremost of those problems. Thankfully, we can sort that relatively easily by just copy and pasting more stuff. And it will probably then also require some expansion of the smelting, but we will cross that bridge when we come to it. Power is also working wonderfully, by the way. The accumulators are discharging as and when needed, but for the most part are not needed currently. Okay, productivity modules are sorted. 10 of these for 14 of these to reach our target of 90 science per minute. Oh boy, why did I say that? Why did I agree to that? Next up is this belt here, and I'm just going to run it this way just so that it avoids the power poles. This belt is going to be some steel and some stone bricks, half a belt of each. Hopefully I have the room on the bus for all of this. Should do. That's the wrong way. Some steel and some stone bricks. Great. Of course I did that. Of course I did that like that. Okay, fine. Have it your way. This is going to get more and more awkward, isn't it, as I bring each line a bit further back. It's fine. It's fine. I'm tired. I'm so tired. All of the time. How am I going to get stone bricks off the, like this, I suppose? And another space there like that. And then steel like that is acceptable. Okay. I wish I'd have done this in a slightly different way in retrospect. I would not have to then do this, and it would save me a whole bunch of time elsewhere. Not quite sure how to facilitate that, though. There must be a good way of doing it. That is, of course, not going to work. I'm not seeing it. When it's 2 lanes, if and when it is 2 lanes, then I can do that. In fact, I can do that anyway. Why? Don't even need that in that scenario. Which means I can put this back where it needs to be. Is that in the right place? Yeah, it is, yeah. Okay, and then just, whoops, cut that out. Even though that's a massive waste of time for the robots, it's really all I have the energy for right now. Okay, so far so good. And by so good I mean it's a mess. I've just realised it's wrong. That needed to be red and bricks, not steel. Brilliant. I told you, this is the second time I've tried to start recording this video, and I told you it was going to go badly the first time. I mean, I didn't. I intimated that I wasn't in the mood, and felt like I'd fixed it, but clearly haven't. Right, red. Half a belt of red, please. Which is on the left-hand side, and then the other half stone. No! I can't press the buttons properly. Please send help. Send help immediately. My brain is dying. Okay, right. This needs to be red and stone because I actually want a whole bale of steel to go this way. Some to go into there and some to go into all the rail machines. So as such, this all needs to go. Okay. And just, I mean, the steel can go in and the bricks can go in. No? What is happening? Please. Alright, okay, fine. This needs to be a whole lane of steel. And this needs to be a whole lane of iron. Other than that, it's fine. Easy. Easy game. Easy game. What? Yeah, production science. It's absolute nightmare. Right, that's just after the balancer. Brilliant. This one needs to be steel. Okay, easy. Easy game. I'm missing something. What is it I'm missing? I'm missing raw stone. I'm missing raw stone for the rails. How has this happened? Oh, the raw stone needs to go on the outside of this. So this iron actually needs to come out. It can't come out one further lane because it was in the perfect right place. That's why this is there like that, because this needs to have stone on the outside so that... What on earth was I doing here? This is a mess. This is a total mess. Ah, I scrapped this episode again. This is the second episode I've scrapped. Probably. Stone. Just leave it. Just leave it as a total mess. This isn't going to work because now there is too much space here for this. Why? Why did I choose to do production science today of all days? This is working though, right? Yeah, it's just the rail now. It's just the rail. It will go here. It will fit. I will make it fit. Oh, except it needs to be only half a lane. That is the right hand side. And by the right hand side I mean the correct hand side, not the opposite of left hand side. Okay. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. I hate it. Thanks, I hate it. Please get rid of all of the junk from my inventory now in the best way that you can. This is why production science is such a nightmare. It's not stuff that you want to bus. You don't want to bus rail. You just don't. My first iteration of the design was having exactly enough rail. Because each production science pack needs 30. Which is crazy. But it does take 21 seconds to craft. So this is vastly... The amount of rail that all of these assemblers could be producing vastly outscales what would be needed for these. But having 5 rail assembly machines outputting onto a bus or outputting onto a belt with exactly the right amount of inputs is more trouble than it's worth. In my first iteration of the design, at least, it felt like it was trouble. The way this is going to work is it's going to take a little bit of time to get this far, because all of these machines are going to use vastly more than, you know, look at this, more than one belt of everything, and I've only got half a belt here. But the grand total is so overscaled, 9 more rail machines than we need, that eventually these will get full, and they'll stop taking the inputs. And then that will let the steel, the iron sticks and the stone permeate down, and then everything will sort of kind of self-balance. And so then the prod modules and the electric furnaces output onto this belt, they loop around here, and that is more than enough for this. And the rail goes in each individual machine, and then the output comes out on this side. So it's not very elegant, but it works. That also meant that I had to change the design of the labs slightly, because now we have 3. I'm going to just put that there just so that there is at least half the belt. Now, how did you get 3 inputs when your longest inserter is only 2? Well, because of the way that it works, you can either... It's probably going to be easier at this point to do it on the top side, is mostly just create a lot of space. Oh, it doesn't quite reach. That's annoying. You know what? Let me get some red undergrounds, if solely because, not because they're faster, just because they have a longer reach. So that then I can do red undergrounds. This one is fine. This is going to look weird. That will at least reach from there to there. So then these can go here, like this. And you know what? You know what? Screw this whole bottom half. I decided I don't like it. Get rid of it. It's going to be more trouble than it's worth, loading from both sides at this point. Let me just add another row on the top here. Okay, this should be enough of these. It's not. I'm missing one. I'm going to need lots of iron gear wheels to get that sorted. In fact, those could even go there like that, and if they go there like that, then that is actually enough. I mean, it would be enough if I just used the flipping yellow belts in the first place, which you're going to have to forgive me. My brain is just failing today. Thanks, autosave. That was really helpful. There. Now I don't need any red belts at all. Continuing with my, you don't really need red belts. You can just go straight from blue to, from yellow to blue. I've got a whole bunch of science packs on me now because I picked up so much. Right, let's get some bloody research going, shall we? Good lord. Lab research speed, please. Let's progress. Alright. Now, let's have a look at what this has done to the bus. I suspect bad things. How are green circuits keeping up? That doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like this would just have absolutely destroyed green circuits. It's probably because there's a big backlog of productivity modules, because I got that bit working first. First of all, we should see if all of these are working. Item ingredients shortage, what is that? Electric furnaces are not keeping up. 4 of these is wrong, I feel like. I feel like it's... No, 4 is correct. Makes 36 per minute, only needs 30 per minute. So why are there not electric furnaces backed up on this belt? Because there is some steel there when I accidentally did the wrong thing, so only 2 of them are working. Okay, that's fine. We debugged that successfully and quickly, which is what you like to see. But everything else, working. Oh, item ingredients shortage. Oh, that'll be because the furnaces aren't coming around the belt fast enough. Alright, okay, I believe now it's working. Is this enough stone? You can see red circuits here beginning to fail. as we kind of imagined they would, because they're in, yeah, that's kind of a lot of red circuits that we need here, because each one of these needs 10 at least, 5, so not at least, the opposite of that one. What is happening here? Thank you. So we need more red circuits, just going to need more copper, just going to need... Alright, I think the plan is more of everything, basically. And the quickest way to achieve that is red belts. And I know I just said you don't need red belts. You do need red belts. What I wanted to have was this one, logistics system, before I started upgrading to red belts. I don't think I'm going to get away with that. Because what I would like to do is make red belts in the mall and not have to worry about making a belt-based red belt creator, and instead use the logistics system to request everything we need in the mall. But I don't think I'm going to get away with that. I just think that everything is just running far too slowly currently. It's not going to be long until red belts run out entirely. Red circuits run out entirely. I could just plough through and make utility science, but we need processing units for those, and flying robot frames, which are going to need green circuits, and electric engine units, which are going to need green circuits. We're just going to run out of everything, basically. We're coming to that point now where we need just more of stuff. Admittedly, the green circuit build is very modest for this stage in the game. It is... well, it's 2 yellow belts of copper. Half of all the copper we make is going towards green circuits. And if we even double this up, then suddenly... excuse me. If we double this up, then all of this is now just going to green circuits. Copper doesn't go much else, except for red circuits. A small bit goes into the mall, a small bit goes into red science, and a small bit goes into military science. That is it. But it's time. It's time for red belts. I put it off as long as possible. It's time. We've got a lot of iron, thankfully. Iron is not something we're short of. So let's very quickly whip up a red belt creator, which, you know, is annoying because they need yellow belts, and red undergrounds need yellow undergrounds, and red splitters need yellow splitters, so we're going to need to make all of those as well. But thankfully it's all iron, and 10 electric circuits is a bit annoying. Let's have a quick count in the entire base as well. The whole base. Lag. 11,000 belts, 821 undergrounds, 162 splitters. The splitters is obviously, that's quite low. I'm surprised it's as low as that, which does mean that we'll only need about 2,000 green circuits to get all this done. Oh no, times 15, because 5 go into this as well. I'm just gonna bung it here. No, that's a terrible idea, because I do want it to stockpile at some point so that I can obviously exchange everything I've got. It's worth thinking about doing just a straight upgrade of everything before you've even made it. So rather than like making 10,000 yellow belts, etc., is to just set red belts going. And in fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that just to show you. Set red belts going, some of them, and then just have a chest, a logistics chest that asks for yellow belts from the logistics system, so that then when your robots take the red belts and upgrade them, you bring the yellow belt back, and then that yellow belt is the base material for the next red belt, and so on. So if you take all of your yellow belts and undergrounds and stuff that you've got in storage anyway, and I will do that. I will just do this bit first. Then you don't have to have necessarily a machine that takes yellows and makes reds with them, because you just put a logistics chest here like this and you say, right, bring me the yellow splitters, the construction bots, please bring me the yellow splitters, and you get rid of these logistics ones. You just tell this to be nothing, or ideally you just get rid of them entirely. And then the yellow splitters that you remove from the base in favour of red ones just get recycled here. They go here and they make the red one. So let's do that system, shall we? The only real issue is that you need quite a lot of gear wheels. So how many gear wheels can we get with one belt? 5 gear wheel machines. With yellow belts, of course. So let's do that. Let's have a whole belt of iron coming in, making as many gear wheels as we need. Vaguely balance this, I suppose. Sort of. And then red belts need iron as well, don't they? Oh no, they don't actually need any raw iron, they just need the gear wheels and the transport belts, so that's nice. So then we put this logistics chest here, and we call this these, bung those in there. Where are you going? Oh, of course, I have to turn my own personal logistics off for this, because otherwise it's just going to try and bring me 1,000 belts, and I bet they're on their way. No, they've just turned around because they've realised I've turned the request off, so that was good. Hello, Cammy. My cat has arrived. Okay. And then undergrounds need 40 iron gear wheels each. Do I not have these? Oh, thankfully I can make some with the crap in my inventory. It's just making the flipping circuits by hand first. Right, good one. Good one, me. This one can be the undergrounds, please. And then the last one is fast splitters, which is the same, except we need a supply of electronic circuits as well. Let me just move this over slightly, because this pylon is in the way. Cut. Paste. That's going to move that chest that's full of belts. It was not the smartest thing to do. So this is electronic circuits. We might have a problem in that if we run out of electronic circuits for the science, we're not going to get any more in, but currently it's fine. There. And a belt of iron for the... I mean, this is a hack, of course. Like everything I'm doing, it's a hack. The takeaway is that it works in the short term, so it's fine. When we need to start thinking about long-term solutions, then things obviously go a bit neater, like the red and the green science. This is going to do us for a long time. I've even very cleverly left space in the middle here for modules when we get modules. I haven't done the same thing with this, but you know, we will cross that bridge when we come to it. Short-term solutions like this, they can be messy. It's fine. You do you, I believe is the phrase the kids say. Let me guess, this is in the way of this. Yes, of course it is. Oh my god, this is hideous. And steel's running out as well. Alright, fine. Do it the other way. I could have just cut and paste this, rather than manually demolishing it. Come in this way instead. Because at least I know that there will be space. Really? It's fine. Try not to move the cursor so that I know where that is. It's there. Good. No, my flippin' Roboport. How could you do this to me? Why? Why is life so difficult? Please. What do I do about this? Oh. Criminy. Pure pain. Worker, robot, cargo size. Well, I mean, logistics 3 is right there. We just do logistics 3 straight away, except that is asking a bit much. The sheer amount of gear wheels that we would need for that is frankly unsustainable. Apologies again that this content is atrocious. I wouldn't have watched this. So if you have watched it, I do appreciate that a lot. It's kind of an awkward, you know, like I need to get the video. I've focused on quantity over quality here, is what's happened. I needed to get this video out for the day that I usually take the videos out, which is this one is Saturday. So I hope you're having a good weekend. But as such, the quality has suffered because I made too much of an effort to get this out on the day. Splitters, undergrounds, things. Right, turn my personal logistics off, put all the yellow belts we have in there. I didn't do an output. Didn't even do an output, and this also is not powered. Logistics filter red belts, logistics filter red undergrounds, logistics filter red splitters. Alright, let me go and get the undergrounds and splitters and excess belts from the mall, and we will begin. And I will start it, and it will be a horrendous mistake. But it is what it is. Right. You are done. You are done. You are done. I'll leave the machines there, just in case the worst happens, and I have to go back. Which I'm sure will be the case. We always knew that this stage in the base would happen. That we were just ploughing on, ploughing on, ploughing on, getting the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, and didn't scale up the early game enough, the early stuff. Like we always knew that this was the case. You are full of these. You are full of these. I already have 6 underground belts anyway. All right. Get the upgrade planner. From yellow belts to red belts. From yellow undergrounds to red undergrounds, yellow splitters to red splitters. Take the base as a whole, everything encapsulated by the Roboport grid. Just a casual 12,000 belts, 909 undergrounds and 185 splitters. And after some brief thinking, they're off. Now the belts come back here, so for every belt we spend here, we're getting another one back here. So we shouldn't have to make more yellow belts. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. Same with this. Obviously the issue with this is that I'm going to just double this up because this would help as well. Well, these are red belts. They're neat, aren't they? Like, I've been playing this so far for gosh darn 40 hours, it feels like, and these are the first red belts we've put down. Now, of course, it's going to be very unhappy for a long time, because it is going to take... This makes 90 per minute. It's going to take a long time to get this sorted. But we can do other things while that's happening. We can start scaling up in other ways. In retrospect, should you do it like this? Probably not. In retrospect, maybe use your starter base to get red belts. I don't know. I mean, there's never a good time to do it. If you try and get your starter base to make red belts for you, that uses a lot of iron. Like, a lot of iron. Undergrounds especially, 100 iron plates for a set of underground belts. Red underground belts. That's quite a lot. And when you're doing the bus system, that really adds up, you know? And especially, like, things like this as well. I mean, we're going to have to go and upgrade these manually, of course. Did that get caught in it? Yes, it's not really not as relevant, those ones, but and again, really, these aren't as relevant to upgrade. Probably just leave those and go straight to blue with them rather than taking them out there. So like this system as well, where you've got your undergrounds in between the power poles, it uses a lot of undergrounds. This bus system. So there's never really a good time to do it. You'd have to have quite a scaled up starter base to just go from the starter base to red belts, but you probably could do it. If you find a decent, like, ore patch, like 3.7 million here, there's actually quite a lot of iron sat around not doing much. You probably could do it. It would take a bit of doing. Some planning and a lot of patience. Because, of course, we've also used 10,000 yellow belts. The yellow belts are so cheap, is the thing, right? They're so quick and easy to make. One iron plate, one iron gear wheel makes 2 of them. They're so good that when you rely on them, though, eventually, when they become not good anymore, you've got a huge problem in that you just need to upgrade it all. Because having everything move down the bus on yellow belts is the problem. That is the problem. You could, you know, I suppose you could have your smelting be red belts, and for every 1 red belt of output here would actually be 2 yellow belts, so you could have a big smelting column that went 4 red belts, and then those red belts, you could do a 4 to 8 balancer. Not that one. You could do a 4 to 8 balancer like this, and then just from this last set of splitters here have this all be red belts, but then this very last set here just turn them into yellow belts. And you could have your bus continue to be yellow belts, but you would have 4 lanes of red belts, 4 lanes of red belts, but they were split over 8 physical, actual lanes of yellow belts. That would be a weird way to do it. But it would certainly save you on belts. But eventually you're going to have to upgrade them. Like, eventually. And this is why I guess ultimately I'm bad at the game, and also why I really hate having the biters on, because if I wanted to, I would just leave this now. I would just leave this, go and do something else, and let this happen. And while that while that all transpired, my base would be attacked by biters. Of course, these I built 5 of these because that would be the yellow belts. I could have 10 of these with the red belts. The problem is if unless you've got an entire perfect unbroken chain of red belts bringing your iron in, it's not actually going to work. I mean, it looks fine now, but that's only because it's speeding up. Like, it's still limited to 15 per second because it's going to slow down at this point. But I will put one more on the end because I suppose the average will be slightly more. I suppose. And the splitters aren't getting enough iron gear wheels either because they're all going here. But I mean, this is already made in this whole jabbering on 363. It's going to take a while. Of course it is. There's no getting around that. I haven't come across a better way to go about this, to be honest with you. You could do this and spend a lot of iron to stockpile red belts. You could do it this way and make your yellow belts and then make your red belts and wait until you had like 10,000 and then go. That would use a lot of iron because you would need 11.5 iron per fast transport belt plus all of the undergrounds that you were using. You know, that's almost 12 times the 10,000 that you're using. You know, 120,000 iron plates in excess of the other stuff that you're doing. Doable, of course, if you set it up early enough as well. Because it is mostly iron and green circuits, I suppose you could just plonk it here. As soon as you got green circuits sorted, you could start doing it. That might be the way to go. In retrospect, it probably is. I'm just going to do these with yellow belts, just so that at least I get something. And then upgrade it. I did show you the upgrade planner, didn't I? Like, that wasn't a new thing that I introduced. I did show you the upgrade planner before. You could do it in stages as well, I suppose. You could say what's the most important thing to get done. But if you're then like deciding, oh, well, then I want more iron, so I'll upgrade all the iron to red, then you're still having to upgrade all of this bit of the belt. And I would say that's the biggest con of the belt, of the bus system, rather, is that when it becomes time to upgrade, you have used a lot of belts. You have put a lot of belts down. What else can you do? Alright, I have no idea how long this video is. Probably too long, to be honest with you. There's a good chance I scrap it. If you're listening to this, I haven't scrapped it. There's a good chance I press stop recording, see that it's an hour and 20 minutes because I lost all track of time and went, right, fine, that video's not happening, and I'll just explain it in a small video afterwards. If you did manage to make it all the way through without throwing the internet out of the window in disgust, then thank you. Please let me know with a like or a comment, and if you want to see more of this, then God help us all. But you can subscribe in that regard. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.